What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? I've got a really good one for you guys today, and that would be the Quiet Carry Drift in G10 and vanax. Vanax is a really cool steel that's not used all over the knife world, and it should be. It's a very high performance steel, given it's very expensive, and I understand why production companies don't mess with it too much. It's a very costly steel. Performance is quite good considering its toughness and incredible stain resistance. Quiet Carry knocked it out the park. This steel is done very well. No BS on the heat treat. It is done right. And I think it's really cool that they used lc200 as the liners. This is highly corrosion resistant knife. For all intensive purpose, it is corrosion proof. I tested this blade. It is at 59.4 Rockwell. Performance is quite good. I mean, don't expect tremendous edge retention out of it, but it's good considering its incredible stainlessness and reasonable toughness. And again, I think it's very cool that they used lc200n as the liners, or Z-Infinite. Yeah, one of the two they used. Anyways, very good steel. Again, very expensive steel to work with. If you're out, you're out working on a boat or whatever in salt water, you definitely don't have to worry about corrosion. It's pretty much impervious to saltwater corrosion or salt corrosion. In highly acidic situations, it's still going to be incredibly corrosion resistant, so you don't have to worry about that. So if you're looking for something that is, like I said, basically corrosion proof, this would be a fantastic knife for you, considering you can get them at about $200. And they're done very well from start to finish. The quality control is excellent. The knife carries very well, nice thin profile, very comfortable in hand. You can choke up, get on that blade. You have a nice tall flat, so you're gonna get quite a bit of sharpening out of it before it starts to thicken up too much. I will say the geometry is a little on the chubby side. I do wish they would have taken it down a little thinner behind the edge, but this knife is on its second edge. It's probably at about, I'd say 21 thousandths. Yeah, 22 thousandths, somewhere around there. Still going to slice nicely, and it's not going to be a laser beam for very long. After 4 or 5 more edges, it is going to start getting a little thick, but it would be very easy to do a regrind on this. You do have a nice reasonably tough steel that is not going to deform to impact super easily. I mean, don't get me wrong, don't go beating it through nails or thick staples, but with that geometry and the properties of the steel, you've got reasonable toughness backing you, and you shouldn't have that edge deformation unless you're doing something that just don't make any sense. If you're using the knife how it should be used, you're good to go. Like I said, don't expect tremendous edge retention out of it. You're not going to get that. In testing, I haven't tested this specific knife, but I've tested a couple, and pretty much they score somewhere between 154 cm and the very bottom of where S30V will be at. Yeah, or here's a better way to explain it. About mid-range between 154 cm and S35VN. You're going to have edge retention about dead in the middle of that, if both of them are well done. So reasonable edge retention. Nothing great, but very usable, and vanax strops back very, very nicely. So if you got some diamond emulsion on a piece of basswood, or diamond emulsion on some leather, as long as you don't damage the apex, it's gonna come back many, many times for you. One thing I will say about vanax, it doesn't hold on to aggression very well. That's why I just went ahead and, this edge is a mirror. It's polished. If you say you leave this steel at like 400 grit, or finish it on a DMT 325, for example, and really nice toothy aggressive edge, it just doesn't hold on to that aggression. So it's almost pointless to put a really toothy edge on this steel, because it's just not going to hold it very long. If you polish it, you'll get good push cutting performance. You're not going to have a lot of bite. It's just the steel composition is not going to give you a lot of bite. And if the bite is from a coarse edge, it's just going to fall off very quickly anyways. So I suggest polishing it. That way, it's going to push cut nicely for you. It is going to be a little slick. Go ahead and expect that. And, each time you strop it back, it's going to get even more slick. But that's just vanax. In my opinion, one of the downfalls of the steel. But the highly corrosion resistant nature of the steel makes up for that. This is a boat knife. If I'm out in salt water and I'm cutting up bait, this is the knife I'm doing it with. I know I don't have to worry about it. I know there will be absolutely zero corrosion on it. And it just does good. So, if I'm cutting squid rings, or opening up making a bonita belly, that polished edge will just easily cut right through the fish, so it's all good to go. And it'll push through heavy monofilament very easily, as long as you got something to cut on, press it against. It's not gonna cut it if you have to do like a pulling cut, say like creating a loop and then pulling through it. That polished edge is it's gonna slip. But if you got a surface to cut against, you're good to go, and the polished edge will actually do quite nicely like that. I would say for most people, it's a really good steel, if corrosion resistance is of importance. I would say for most people, something like S45BN would probably be a better choice, just for the simple fact that you're going to definitely have better edge retention. You're going to have an edge that holds on to aggression much longer. It's not going to be as stainless, but it's still plenty stainless. And very likely the knife you buy it in will be cheaper, because this is a very, very expensive steel and very expensive to work with. So if it's vanax, you're going to pay. But overall, it's a really well done knife. Quiet Carry is a solid company. They put out good pieces. I haven't ever seen anything from them that wasn't near perfect, if not perfect. Perfect, near perfect quality control. Their heat treats are good. Their designs are good. They're just a well done knife, and they're not absolutely crazy expensive. And they're made in the USA, so you got that as a big plus. And they're just a well done knife. Especially the drift. This thing carries in pocket beautifully. That nice thin profile, but yeah, you still got a full grip knife, even with the XL hands. Just a great knife. I wish they would do this model in something like S90V and give us one that is targeted towards edge retention. I'd be all over that knife. But yeah, check out the Quiet Carry Drift. I have no doubt that you'll like it, and if you buy one, you'll be very happy with that purchase because it is absolutely a great knife and a great model. Quiet Carry, good job. Y'all knocked it out the park, just as you always do. Keep up the great work, and you guys have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.